welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to be giving you a first impression and review on the Riviera palette by Anastasia. I know I'm a little bit late to the game with this palette, but this palette was actually gifted to me from my friend Bella. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. If you guys are interested in checking her out, she also has a beauty channel here on YouTube as well as Instagram. I will have her links down below. Please go check her out and say hi. Let her know that I sent you over. So I am excited to have my hands on this because my very first experience with Anastasia was the Soft Glam palette, and I kind of have mixed feelings about it still to this day because the formulation, the eyeshadows are just like really powdery, like more powdery than usual. And so I was a little bit hesitant about buying the Alyssa Edwards palette, but the formulation in this palette is completely different than Soft Glam. I can say, spoiler alert, it's completely different than Riviera. So if you've been kind of on the fence with this one, I think it's definitely worth checking out. This is neither here nor there, but I am excited. This is my third palette from ABH, and I am excited to jump into it and explore it more. I did a little bit more of a neutral eye with a wee bit pop of color for more of like an everyday kind of wear, I guess. But be subscribed. I will be doing more bright, colorful looks and getting into this bad boy a little bit more. Before we jump into today's video, I will say for primer, I did use the Anastasia primer, and I also used the P. Louise base. I'm doing a battle of the primer. If that video is not out yet, it will be soon. If it is out, it'll be linked up above and also down below. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. So that is what's going on with primer. So let's go ahead and jump into it to see how these shadows apply. So here is a close-up of the palette after I sanitized it. So I think she said she used this only a couple of times, but had other colors similar in her collection. I am really excited with the shimmers. I don't know what I want to do though. I kind of want to play with the yellow. Okay, I think I'm going to do a actual neutral look, and I'm going to use Seychelles for my lid and have that be the standout moment. As much as I want to dive into that color, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my brow bone with Sails. Then I'm going to build up Estate as a transition shade and also deepen that a little bit with Coastline. Then to deepen the look altogether, I will be taking the shade Palm. Ugh, I don't know though. I really want to play with this mustard yellow Cabana too. Decisions. Alright, this could be a bad idea, but I am going to go in for like the more mustardy shade Cabana. Now it is time for the fun color. I'm not going to spritz this yet. I want to see how it applies on its own. I have a feeling there's going to be so much fallout. I'm spritzing this. I just use a Vicks Plus to wet the brush to minimize fallout, and it will help make the shadow look more oiled. I mean, that's a really pretty shadow. All right, this is what I have so far with the Riviera palette. My camera is about to overheat, so I'm gonna try to get my lower lash line done and we can move on. For the lower lash line, I am going to use Palm, which is the dark brown. Hello, can we focus? And then I will blend it out with a combo of Coastline and Estate. And then for a pop of color on the bottom, I'm gonna take this Gold Inheritance. Alright, here is the final eye look with Riviera. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and be back to give you my final thoughts. I just want to jump in here and show, it's not really picking up on camera, but these shadows are so messy. Like, it's kind of what I feared. It's kind of like the same formula issues as Soft Glam, where the fallout is just like a little bit too much for me. Like every single eyeshadow palette, like there's going to be fallout, like a minimum is fine. But it just gets to a point where it's like really messy, really loose. Like it feels like more powder's going up into the air and getting all over your palette than it is sticking to your brush and going onto your eye. That was especially true with Estate and Coastline. They were so powdery. I tried showing you on camera dipping my brush in. I don't know if you could tell, but there's like little things of like powder smoke going up into the air. I'll try to zoom in and show you again now. So when I was tapping into these colors, do you see that? Like it's like a little puff of smoke. And then over here does it too. And you can see like I'm barely tapping it and there's just so much powder that's just getting like everywhere. Like it's just so powdery. For me, well, let me zoom you back out so I'm not like screaming in your face. For me, that's a little bit of a con just because it's so messy. And it's just to a point where it's a little bit of an inconvenience. I have other shadows that work great that aren't as loose and like loosely packed. I will have to continue testing it out to see if the brighter colors, I can kind of tell that Monte Carlo is kind of similar too from where my friend used it, but I'm interested to see if Bahamas and Canes is gonna, or Cons is gonna have the same issue. Even the shimmer was like a little bit crumbly and loose. So I'm not the biggest fan of this formula, so I'm really glad I held off on this because I was tempted to get it. And I'm really glad that I waited and just went with this palette instead, because the formulation in here compared to that is night and day. You don't have like the super loose, messy shadows or powders everywhere in this palette. So if that was your gripe with ABH, please check out the Alyssa Edwards palette because it's so different. If you are interested in seeing a more in-depth comparison between the two palettes, because I know a lot of people griped that the color similarities in these palettes is too close, let me know in the comments down below if that is a video you would like to see, and I'd be glad to film it for you. But for me, the night and day difference is the formula. The formula in here is just so much better. The pigment is there. It's just amazing. This one is just like, I see why my friend gifted it to me and why she didn't want to hold on to it, because it's not, in my opinion, a super top palette to have. But yeah, if you would like more in-depth swatches and like comparison, like one on one eye, let me know. I'd be happy to film that for you. So those are my thoughts on the Riviera palette. If you have the palette, because I know so many people bought it, if you haven't, let me know your thoughts down below, and what is your favorite color in the palette. I really am drawn to the bright pink Bahamas, but I really want to play around with the mustard yellow and more of the shimmers. So you'll be seeing looks with this to come, especially on my Instagram. Be sure to check me out over there. All my socials linked down below. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to check out my other videos that are floating around, go ahead and check them out. Be sure to subscribe. If you're not yet already, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.